안녕하세요. 저는 온룰루입니다. 오늘 이 비디오에서는 코북선이 변화에 대해 이야기하겠습니다. 그래서 우리는 보기 코북선이 이제 좋으면 있을겠습니다. Alright guys, that was the result of 6 semesters of Korean, and please never ask me to say anything more. I was never very good at it. But indeed guys, this video is going to be all about the turtle ship. It's new, and we'll have to see if it is improved because the unit is pretty weird now. We're going to see, okay, now that the turtle ship has been changed twice, how effective is it versus, well, all of the other ships that you'll encounter, how worthwhile I guess it is for the Koreans, and if it now successfully fills its role as the Koreans' fire ship counter because the Civ lacks demolition ships. So here, I'm going to go through, okay, what does the turtle ship actually do, what upgrades affect it, and how it can be used in practical gameplay. So to certainly leave a like if you enjoyed this little testing video. It's been a while since I've done one of these. And of course, leave a comment as to what you think of this ship, because it's a personal favorite, it's a fan favorite. I would love it for the turtle ship to be viable. So with that said, let's jump into it. Turtle ships. Obviously, it is a Korean unique unit available at the dock as soon as you reach the Castle Age. As I said, it is basically a replacement for the demo ship line, which the Koreans do not get whatsoever. They cost 152 wood and 180 gold, making them one of the most expensive units in the game. That Korean wood discount does help out a little bit though, and because Koreans also get shipwright to stack on top of it, they will get even cheaper on the wood cost throughout the game. And because turtle ships are so powerful, Koreans often, at least on hybrid maps, will go fast castle into turtle ships, so we're actually going to see how well they perform versus the fire ship line, because say you go fast castle turtle ships, your opponent has fire ships to take map control, you go for your turtle ships, so we'll have to see how the turtle ships perform both by themselves and in conjunction with other ships. If you look at their stats, they have a charge attack now, whereas they used to just fire a single cannonball that dealt 50 damage. It was very straightforward. Now it's very complicated. So you have a main projectile that has 20 melee damage, so less than half of what it had before, but you do get some bonus damage versus buildings. And the way this works out is you will fire your cannonball, and that's your charge attack basically, and then at 2-second intervals, you will fire rockets, and I'll show that off right now. So yeah, basically, fire the cannonball, and then every 2 seconds you'll fire a group of 3 rockets. And you can see here that the rockets are, well, there are 3 of them. They deal 4 melee damage each and have the same exact bonus damage properties as the charge attack projectile. This makes the unit a little bit weird to micro because what happens is you shoot the cannonball, and if you're microing around a little bit, it'll just end up firing the rockets, so you're not really dealing full damage unless it's the main attack, as the rockets obviously deal considerably less damage than the cannonball. We'll have to see how worthwhile it is to micro the unit and just use the charge attack, as opposed to just letting it free fire and do all of its rocket damage. But yeah, this is the first time we've ever seen anything like that in AoE2, where you have a charge attack. Obviously that's on several units now, but it is such a qualitatively different type of attack. It's not like the Custelier, which just gets a bunch of extra damage, every so often. Even the Arumi Swordsman is basically just a supercharged version of the exact same attack. This is just, it is a different unit to micro around. So we'll have to see how that one goes. As for the other stats, 6-7 melee armor with 8 ship armor does make it the most armored ship in the game. Of course, a ship with all that plate mail armor on it better be tanky. So yeah, it has a lot of armor, and that is increased with the elite version to 8-8. So 2 more melee armor, 1 more pierce armor. The regular version has 6 range with a 0.5 blast radius, but that's only on the main projectile. The rockets actually have a 0.3 blast radius. And the reload time of 2 is a complete misnomer, as again, it's main projectile, then 3 volleys of the rockets every 2 seconds, and then you fire your main projectile again. Movement speed is 1.05, which is actually faster than, you might think. It's the same speed as a Huskarl or a Berserk without Squires. 200 HP as well does make it, again, one of the tankiest ships in the game by HP value. As for which upgrades affect the turtle ship, basically, careening and dry dock work as intended. Here, I'll make myself the Imperial Age. So careening, going to give you 1 extra pierce armor. Dry dock, going to give you 15% faster movement speed. Shipwright's going to reduce the wood cost even further to 122 wood and 180 gold. The elite upgrade is actually a lot cheaper than it used to be as well, at 650 food, 500 gold. It used to be, I think, 1,000 food and 800 gold, so much, much easier to get the elite upgrade. It does not benefit from any blacksmith upgrades. And as far as university upgrades go, I will show you guys that ballistics actually does not affect the unit. So you can see here that we have this war galley patrolling back and forth, and we are missing without ballistics. And even when we research ballistics, we're still not hitting this war galley here. Well, we did there because the war galley happened to turn around. See. Not the most accurate ever. However, turtle ships are affected by siege engineers. This gives them additional damage versus buildings, just like it does for cannon galleons now, and it gives them 1 extra range, which is super critical because turtle ships are outranged by the regular war galley line. Beyond that, they have 1 more upgrade, which is actually the Imperial Age unique tech for the Koreans, Shinkichon, which you might think of just as a rocket cart upgrade, but actually now applies to turtle ships as well. So you can see that it gives the turtle ships 1 extra range, and they fire extra projectiles. So what that means in this context is, well, the 1 extra range is exactly what you think it would be, and then the extra projectiles don't include the main cannon, but it does include the rockets. So you can see you go from firing 3 rockets to 5 rockets. So you get 2 extra rockets. Now, when it comes to damage, the elite turtle ship and turtle ship historically had the exact same damage, as in it used to just be the 50 damage cannonball. Now it is similar, but the rockets for the elite turtle ship actually get 1 bonus damage versus ships and fishing ships, whereas the regular turtle ships projectiles don't. So you get, like, what, 3 to 5 extra damage for the elite turtle ship? It's pretty minor, but still something I thought worth mentioning. So with all of that taken into consideration, let's see how the unit performs in an actual combat situation. All right, so here I am just on a big empty stretch of water, and we're going to do some turtle ship testing. Now, the first thing I want to test is, like I mentioned earlier, I want to see how they perform against Feudal Age warships because fast castle into turtle ships has historically been a strategy that you could do. So right now, we have 1 turtle ship versus 3 fire galleys. So let's try with a 3-to-1 advantage. I'm going to start just by seeing how much damage I do if I just let the turtle ship fire, and then we'll try microing it and see what a difference that makes. Yeah, see what I did there is I changed target pre-volley so that they would deal the maximum amount of damage. Anyway, it looks like I can take down 2 fire ships before I get sunk here. Let's try this with micro. Now, the fire ships are always still going to be faster. I'm trying to maximize it so that the cannonball isn't doing as much overkill. Again, it's a tricky and a little bit of a weird unit to micro. Yeah, see, like right there, I tried to maximize my damage. So, but you can see with micro, the turtle ship is going to absolutely clobber these Feudal Age warships. Oh my goodness. I mean, we just took down 3 fire galleys. Now, obviously, that's just with me completely babysitting the turtle ship. But in terms of can you go fast castle and have 1 turtle ship deal with 3 fire galleys? Yeah, you can do that. You can definitely do that. Also, because the turtle ships have 200 HP, it does take 3 demo rafts to destroy them because demo rafts only have 90 base attack. Alright, now let's try the galley line. Now, because turtle ships are so large and slow, there's less reason to micro around with them, but let's just see how they trade. Remember, the turtle ships have a lot of ship armor. Absorbs all of the galley bonus damage. So galleys, even with fletching, deal a big fat 1 damage a hit to the turtle ship. Oh my goodness, this thing obliterates the Feudal Age galley line. Wow. That was one-sided. I mean, 1 turtle ship will kill an enormous number of galleys. So, fast castle turtles, that seems like it's back on the menu, but let's see how they perform actually in, well, Castle Age. Alright, so now we are here with post-Castle Age upgrades, which for the turtle ship basically just means careening, and then careening here for the fire ships as well. And then once we get to the war galleys, they will also have ballistics. We're taking a lot of damage. Wow, okay. That was underwhelming. We could barely take down 1 fire ship. I mean, again, this is supposed to be your anti-fire ship unit. What if... Well, okay, first let's just test versus pure galley. So again, post-Castle Age upgrades. I mean, we're still taking minimum damage. Remember, it's only 9 bonus damage, so we're only getting, what, 2 damage a hit in? Post-careening. Be 3 damage before careening. But yeah, you can see we are absolutely trashing the war galleys here. Not as one-sided as against the Feudal Age galleys, of course, but this is, you know, late Castle Age. But note that because the war galleys outrange us by 2, they can micro around much more easily, as the war galleys are both faster and longer ranged. So in a practical game, it won't really look like that, but if you can force engagements with your turtle ships, they will be very good. So now I kind of want to see how they perform in mixed armies. So for instance, if we just took some fire ships, I gave myself 3 fire ships and a turtle ship versus 6 fire ships. So somewhat comparable resources. Let's see how much use the turtle ship is as like a backline DPS unit. Not really that great here. I mean, obviously you'd rather just have the fire ships in this case. I mean, the turtle ships will always be population efficient. I mean, they're going to be population efficient against most anything. But as you can see, in this particular case, you'd rather just have more fire ships. Now, of course, the pure fire ship army is more vulnerable to demolition ships, but guess what? You don't get demolition ships as Koreans. Okay, last Castle Age test. Let's see how good they are when it comes to serving as their own meat shield. So not the DPS unit, but the meat shield unit, or wood shield unit, I guess. So that for backline war galleys, relative to fire ships. Because again, you have to keep in mind that Koreans have discounted fire ships themselves. So going for your own fire ships is, you know, a very good option in a lot of situations. Yeah, you can see here that these turtle ships are absolutely doing work as a tanking unit. But you still have to be a bit smart, right? You can't just use them as a fire ship replacement because they're still not going to perform great 1-to-1 against fire ships, but I really do think with Koreans, it's going to be worth mixing these guys into your late Castle Age naval compositions. Like, say you're playing islands and you're, like, playing, I don't know, Koreans versus Italians, and you're both making a ton of war galleys in mid-game. It feels like the turtle ships, like, even just mixing in a few of them would really be a nice way to give you a lot of durability. And I know I was able to escape that without losing a single ship. Obviously, I micros, the AI does not. Still pretty good, though. Let's move on to the Imperial Age. Alright, so we are now here in the Imperial Age. We have all the upgrades in, so we have our 9 range maximum. We have a little bit faster movement speed, but these fire ships are themselves fully upgraded. You also have Shinki-chan in. Yeah, the thing is, the main cannonball doesn't get any stronger, and that's what's really dealing almost all your damage here. I mean, yeah, it's really not impressive, cost-efficient-wise, in Imperial Age. I mean, again, it's going to be population-efficient. If I use equal numbers of turtle ships with any other ship, it's going to be very, very good. When it comes to galleons, and this is also going to apply to longboats and caravels, they're all going to be performing, you know, similarly. I imagine our turtle ship is still going to be doing quite well. I mean, yeah. We take 4 damage a hit from a fully upgraded galleon, and we're only outranged by 1, whereas the turtle ships are outranged by 2 in Castle Age. Okay, yeah, I mean, the turtle ship is still going to be an absolute beast in late game. But I'm still a little worried, though, about the fire ships. Alright, just so we can see the proper test, what about the other chonky late game warship, the Therosadai? Now, Therosadai are more wood-intensive than turtle ships, but significantly less gold-intensive, so the turtle ships still should, in theory, be doing better. Yeah, those rockets really don't do that much, but the Therosadai itself really isn't doing a lot of damage. Yeah, the turtle ship is absolutely trashing this thing. Oh, this is not close at all. Splat. Yeah, we didn't even lose half our HP here, 1-to-1 turtle ship versus Therosadai. Turtles still going to be doing very well in that role. Even though they don't fill the exact same role, I imagine the turtle ships are still going to do very well versus the Lochuans. This is the Chinese one. They all have their own little unique gimmick to them. But yeah, as expected, the turtle ship is absolutely going to clobber that ship in actual combat. Don't mess with the turtles. Alright, so same deal as before with Castle Age. We're going to see how good the elite turtle ship is as a backline damage unit, while the fire ships tank up front. Also, I don't remember if I mentioned it, but turtle ships take 3 demo ships to be destroyed in Imperial Age. 3 heavy demo ships, that is. Yeah, it still seems like in terms of raw damage, you'd rather just have more fire ships, unless you're in like a super tiny choke point where all the fire ships are unable to attack. I mean, it's not the worst trade in the world, but it's not really one to get super excited about. It's just my concern for Koreans is just dealing with those fire ship heavy naval compositions, which are really, really common. All right. Last test here. We'll see how good we are at tanking the fire ships and whatnot. And just try and micro as we can. Yeah. I mean, against these galleon-heavy compositions, the turtle ships are doing work. I mean, I don't even need the galleons at this point. The 2 turtle ships are gonna kill these things so easily. Holy cow. And remember, they're really cheap on the wood cost, and wood is a very prohibitive resource in late game. I mean, we're, what, 122 wood after shipwright? Yeah. I mean, it's, again... But the thing is, caravels and longboats and Therosadai are all anti-galleon units, even the Lochuans to some extent. But you kind of want your own galleons plus turtle ships to deal with the fire ship armies, and those just seem to be the biggest weakness of the Koreans. Alright, the last test I want to do is versus buildings. Now, remember, turtle ships with full upgrades only have 9 range, so all defensive structures are going to still outrange you. But I do just want to see their relative building destruction capabilities compared to the other ships. So we have the one turtle ship, 3 fast fire ships. Why on earth is that galleon being dumb? Who knows? We know the cannon galleon is going to destroy this the fastest. If you want to compare the cannon galleon to Lochuans and Drummonds, I did that test on my video on the Lochuan. Basically, Lochuans are the best anti-building ship, then the cannon galleons, then the Drummonds. Turtle ships are very clearly not cost-effective versus buildings relative to some of the other ships. That is certainly going to be a weakness. It really does seem mostly like a tanking unit in the late game as opposed to a damage-dealing one. You can see that the fire ships are doing so much more work. Heck, are these things even population efficient? I have no idea. Surely 3 elite turtle ships are going to be at least as good as 3 fast fire ships against buildings, right? Now, to be fair, these are buildings with architecture, but still. Alright, so population efficiency-wise, they're slightly better than galleons, but still way, way worse than fast fire ships. Okay, that's definitely something to keep in mind. You're not going to really be able to use turtle ships as a good anti-building tool in late game. They used to be kind of decent because they still dealt that 50 damage a shot. But as you can see, they're only a little bit better than galleons, and that's on a per-unit level. Obviously, the turtle ships here are by far the most expensive. Cannon galleon's already going to destroy this TC. Alright, for one final test, we'll show off the population efficiency here. So we have 20 elite turtle ships versus 10 fire ships and 10 galleons. Let's see how they do as far as equal numbers of ships. Oh my goodness. Poetry in motion, guys. Absolutely beautiful. Keep in mind, this is like 3 times as valuable of an army, but still. Oh my goodness. It's gorgeous! I didn't lose a single turtle ship with 0 micro. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That makes me giggle a little bit. Regardless, though, that is going to be it for this video on the turtle ships, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I certainly learned a lot about them. I'm a little disappointed about their actual damage versus fire ships, and I do think it's something to be concerned about as the Koreans, even, you know, as the game progresses. But I think Fast Castle Turtle Ship is now totally a viable strategy, and turtle ships being mixed into your army as the game progresses is definitely a good idea, as well as the units are just so freaking tanky. Before I go, quick shout out to my Patreon supporters, with Dan and Jared in the Great Wolf tier, and then Carolyn, Dieter, Liquid Egg Product, Fryru, and Tandoori Knight in the Dire Wolf tier. But thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.